So I think one of the first things that needs to happen when you become a lead recruiter is it starts in your own mind to make a decision to become a recruiter. That's not the first bullet point, but before I really do anything in this business, I always think about why I'm doing it. And for me, I've been here since I was 18, went full time when I was 19, and now I'm 26. And the message has never, ever changed. I came here to build a mega hierarchy. That's why I came. I was just looking at the leader sheets just now, and one of our top RVPs, Samir, has averaged basically $25,000 to $30,000 a month, and 95% of it is all passive. When I was 18, he showed me a screenshot of his income at the time, and it looked similar to that, 90% passive income, right? So we just learned a lot about the active income side of things, and that's great. You have to stay in business while you build a business, but I came for passive income. So there's only two ways to obtain passive income. You either buy a business or you build a business, right? So the purpose for me recruiting is to build an environment that attracts Sheila's, Marin's, Peter and Tia's, etc. I want to over recruit so I can build the environment to attract people like that, right? In your career, this is just an example, Samir. In your career, how many times have you done like 15,000 person? Never. Okay. So, and Sheila has, eclipsed that. So that's a prime example that you don't necessarily have to be the best, you can find the best. But we had to have an environment, and you had to become the person to, develop someone like that. The second purpose of recruiting is licensing and arming. Is there any way to pull that picture up? The pictures I sent you?
Yes.
Okay. What's about to be pulled up is probably the best visual I think any one of us have ever seen in history of Primerica. This came up at the convention, and I mean, I go to sleep. Samir goes to sleep and dreams about, ice cream cake. I go to sleep and I dream about this picture right here. While it's being pulled up, when I say license and army, you'll find that there's a proportionate ratio to licenses and your income at the regional vice president level. If you have 300 licensed agents, there's a good chance you're earning 300,000 a year of income. 500 licensed agents, 500,000 of income, right? So we saw this and we were like, wow, that says it all right there. $1.4 million of stable income and 1,400 licenses. That's why I came to Primerica. And lastly, the other major purpose is to lay the distribution. That's why I recruit, is to lay the distribution so that if somebody out there in Tyson's Corner or Northern Virginia is going out to purchase a life insurance product or an IRA rollover or something, there's a 9 out of 10 chance that it's coming from my office. It's my job to lay the distribution to make sure that happens. The only way that you do that is by making the decision to recruit and build a team, right? So this talk, I kind of like, short talk is like recruiting in waves. So the first step is the first wave is you. It all starts with you prospecting. And there's different methods of prospecting. There's stuff on YouTube that you can check out. You can learn how to prospect on LinkedIn. Marin has a guest out there right now from LinkedIn. You can call resumes. You can prospect on social media. Whatever you decide to do, you should pick 2 to 3 forms of prospecting and overdo it daily. That's the key, especially for folks on Zoom that are out of state. Overdo it and overdo it daily, right? So that's step one. Prospect your behind off. The second wave, once you start to recruit directs, you want to normalize recruiting in their mind. This is how you create an environment whereby recruiting never stops. I look at my numbers and we're starting to average 20 recruits a month. And as I continue to develop this Michigan team, and we're going to get into the 30s, and then we're going to get into the 50s, and then we're going to get into the hundreds. And we're going to start recruiting 100 people a month by normalizing recruiting, right? I need all of my agents to understand, and I use an example of a barber shop. I actually got this from somebody on a Primerica trip. And he said, I literally do this. This is one of the first things that I do in my orientation. He said, I know a guy that owns a barber shop and never steps foot in his barber shop. And I draw this for them. He never steps foot in his barber shop, but he hired 12 barbers. And what he does is he charges his barbers $800 a month of booth rent to cut hair in his barbershop. So he's earning $10,000 a month, never stepping foot in his barbershop. That's $120,000 a year of passive income. Now, the barber, let's just say he charges $30 a haircut, 6 haircuts a day, 6 days a week, 4 weeks a month, all year long. So he's earning $50,000 a year of active income. So looking at this example, the owner earns twice as much and never works, and the barber earns half as much and works twice as hard. Which would you rather be, Mr. New Recruit? And again, I've already recruited them. I'm starting to normalize recruiting in their head by showing them examples. They say, I'd rather be the owner. And why is that? Because he doesn't have to show up and he's still making money. So basically, the barber, in order to make more money, the barber has to become a client finder in order to make more money. Okay, and how many clients can the barber cut at one time? Just one. In order for the owner to make more money, he has to be a people finder. And is there any limit to how many people the owner of the barbershop can hire? No, but there is a limit to how many people the barber can cut at one time. So would you rather be a client finder long-term or a people finder long-term? And they say people finder. And that one example right there, it's really starting to get them to understand what we're all about here. Who else recruits? Churches, military, the NFL, the NBA. All of these people are recruiting, looking for talent. And I might throw the cash flow quadrant in there as well, just so they can understand different ways of making money, right? And then lastly, the final one is just make a decision to double-digit recruit. So it kind of like starts on the front end. You normalize recruiting all along the way while keeping the main thing, which is double-digit recruiting. I was clearing my table yesterday for some family to come eat some leftover Thanksgiving food. And I saw this big ripped up poster that I made when I was like 21 years old. And it was my business plan in Primerica. And I'm looking at what I'm trying to do on this poster. And one thing it said was, I double-digit recruit no matter what, exclamation point. And I've never not double-digit recruited since. Can we show a few more pictures before I end? Look at this. The guy that recruited the guy beforehand, his name's Willie Naranjo. And in 2017, he clicked over $1 million a year of income. Look at how many licenses he had. $2 million of income. Literally 2.5 years later, 2,000 licensed agents, and then in the same exact year, 7 months later, 3 million, 3,100 licensed agents. But it's not just the folks, you know, at the top of the pyramid. That's not it. There's other examples too. Look at this. His daughter went from there we go. 50,000 of income, 40 licenses to almost 200,000 of income, 124 licensed agents. Someone else in their hierarchy. 100 grand of income, 60 licenses, almost 200,000, 200 licenses. And all of these people have higher incomes now. 200,000 of income, 200 licenses to 400,000 of income, 500 licenses. And then just go to the next one. Is there one more? Okay. And then lastly, I think this is impressive. Diana, you know what she's at right now? 700. And she has like 700 licenses. Right? So from 400 licenses and 300,000 of income to 800 licenses. And right now, current day, she's almost at 800,000. Right? So why did you come here? We're going into 2023. Remind yourself, hopefully it's for the bigger picture, and hopefully that helps.
So month end is what? Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday, right? So we have until Thursday midnight. So today, tomorrow, then 4 days next week to finish out the month. And then we got the last month of the year, you know, so look at your goals for 2022 and then start to think about what your goals are going to be for 2023. I was with some people last night and, you know, they were asking what I was going to do for New Year's. And I don't try to be too, you know, I understand the normal world doesn't like to hear stuff like this, but I was like, I like to take a little easy on New Year's because I don't want to crawl into the next year, right? You don't want to have a New Year's where it's okay. Everyone went through that phase in their life, right? But you don't want to go through a New Year's where you have to recover the first few days of the year from your New Year's. You know what I mean? You want to go in with a fresh mind. You want to go in there motivated and very clear on what you want to accomplish. So put some thought into that. All right. So set a ton of appointments. Have a great month end. Team on 3, 1, 2, 3.